Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leos as we start moving right on into Leo season, one of the most beautiful times of year. Let's shuffle it up, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for our good friends, Leo, in late July? What energies, messages, insights can we take a look at? And yeah, we're just going to take a look at this first card real quick. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. Well, let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo. And while we shuffle and get this card out, I just want to wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you. I think we're in the first couple days of Leo season, so I hope you have all your birthday plans ready, and I hope it's fabulous. Let's get it going here. Let's get this card out for the lovely Leos in their birthday season. There we go. Thank you. All right, whoa, okay, High Priestess energy. And I've been picking this up with the fire signs, especially in the front ends of the reading, that, like, for some reason, it's very watery in the undertones. And I'll explain that much further. But I like this High Priestess energy. It's very intuitive, but there's also a sensitivity to this energy as well. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So yes, I was saying that this is High Priestess energy to me. This deck is not a tarot deck, but to me she has a lot of the symbolism. Notice that she has the little crystal ball. It has a key within it. There's also a lockbox next to her, so that does imply that she has the key to some knowledge, some sacred or hidden knowledge. This is an energy that can be obscured sometimes. But one thing I'll say about High Priestess, very, very intuitive. So for a lot of Leos, you could be extra sensitive to energies in this time, whether it's people you're connected to, people around you, places you are. Your empathy could be extra high, and it could be heightened in a big way whenever we see this High Priestess for a portion of you. Especially if that one doesn't hit you, there might be something you're trying to figure out. There might be a mystery or something you're like, there's more to this, and I'm going to figure it out. So I feel like it could be either or, could be both for some of you, but I like the High Priestess. Very much water sign energy as well. So we're just going to put her down right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say this first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 cards in the upright, then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos in the beginning of their birthday season, please. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading, my friends. It was titled Big Karmic Warning, and the thing that I saw in the Leo reading last week is there was a spiritual insulation, or spirit keeping you safe, watching over you. But again, for like the past 2 weeks, not even just last week, there's been this strong karmic universal energy attached to the Leo collective. So for a lot of you, you might be going through big changes and metamorphosis. It just felt major to me. So let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're connected to. What's happening here with the lovely Leos in their birthday season? 3 cards to start. What is happening? There we go. Thank you. Okay. 5 of Swords. We'll talk about this. I'm feeling neutral about it right now. Sometimes this can be a concerning type of energy, but I'm feeling neutral for some reason. Just put that down right there next to the amethyst. He could chill for a minute. Let's get a couple more. What do we have for Leo? I mean, that could be a very self-sufficient type of energy as well. All right, yeah, 8 of Wands. So now we do have this fire-air combination showing up here in the beginning. There's a bit of an aggression here, Leo. For one reason or another, whether it's coming from your end or somebody else's, it's like very, very fiery, which I know as a fire sign myself, you're not afraid of fire, right? Or the energy involved with it. So we do have the Magician, very spiritual, the bookend to that High Priestess, and I feel like this is very important. Big card of manifestation. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, I'm getting hit with a lot of energy so far. There's a certain intensity and a little aggressiveness to it, especially with elementally. We have fire and air right here in the beginning. And I always say That could be unpredictable. Now, that could be very good for moving things forward, making progress, big leaps and gains, but at the same time, it's just very unpredictable. It could be very explosive and just out of nowhere. So we'll see how it all plays out. And with this magician on the back end, that's a card of control. So it's like, there might be someone trying to control something that might be impossible. We'll see how it all plays out, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of nuance here. So let's go through piece by piece and really build it out. Position number one, we do have the Five of Swords. Now, I always say with every single card, there's always challenge and there's always positive. We'll go with the positive first, since it's your birthday season. Positive aspects of this Five of Swords, it could represent, again, someone that's very self-sufficient or self-focused in this time. That doesn't always have to be a bad thing. So for a lot of Leos, maybe you're turning the attention towards yourself for whatever reason. Maybe you're prioritizing yourself in one way or another with this card. Another thing that I always say is that this could be a very determined energy, like I'm not going to stop, nothing's going to slow me down, nothing's going to stop me. But when we get to the challenges of this card, there's a pretty big laundry list, right? Like this card could represent conflict. It could represent someone that's angry, mad, or upset. There's an aggression to this card. So if we're not talking conflict, it could swing in the other extreme, where I said, yeah, this could be self-focused and self-sufficient. This might be someone you're dealing with that's acting in a very selfish way. In its worst sense, this could represent someone that's a little narcissistic, right? Like someone that they just think way too highly of themselves. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'm not going to get too far into it until we see a clarifier, because for a lot of you, this could be very good, especially with the card next to it. But at the same time, there could be a warning attached. That's for sure. Now, moving to the center, we do have the Eight of Wands, big card of action, forward progress, movement. And this is one of the big cards of communication, talking. Okay, so when we see this, again, either someone's going to make a move or someone's going to move something forward in a very, very quick way. Someone's finally going to pounce in the proverbial way. But again, this could be back and forth conversation. It could be talks. It could be messages. Now, in a good sense, this could be people getting a lot of things out in the air. But in the rougher sense, again, we have that explosive energy, that unexpected type of energy. So whether this is a talk that comes in out of nowhere, I mean, it could, I feel like for a lot of you, either this is going to be really, really good, but for some of you, it could be something that tries your patience in a big way. So just go with the flow. That's a big vibe I'm picking up for some reason. Take it however it hits. And we'll see what's up with this when we clarify it. So whether it is a communication or an action, we will see. Now, moving to the very back end, we have the Magician. And I also think this is super intriguing that we started off with High Priestess energy, and now he shows up because he is very similar. Okay, so the energetic sensitivity, your empathy, you could be very, not sensitive in a bad way, but you could be noticing things that you don't normally do with this Magician. This is a card of manifesting and creating. So for a lot of you, if you are like focused, like you might be purposely manifesting things, or it's like, no, well, I want to bring this into my life. And whatever you manifest in this time could happen really quick. That's one thing. And I know the universe doesn't always put something in our lap right away, but your powers to create and manifest and bring things in, with what I'm feeling here, it's going to come in quicker than it normally does. But the Magician, when we look at the challenge of it, is about control sometimes as well. Notice the Magician has all the elements depicted within it, the master of all elements. So when we have all this unpredictability and explosive energy on the front, now the Magician coming in, some of you might just be trying to control a situation that you really can't, or something might be out of your hands. It all really depends on how it plays. So we're just going to put this Magician down because, again, you see what I'm saying? This reading is kind of split, where this could be either really, really good for a lot of you, but for others, this could be something that really tests you. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely Leos, please. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Five of Swords. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Five of Swords time. What is it about? Okay, King of Cups, good. All right, so I do feel for a lot of you now we're taking more of a positive spin. For a portion of you, if you are connected to a water sign, there might be some tensions. Okay, this could also represent somebody that's emotionally conflicted as well. And again, I want to mention that I've been seeing this in the other fire signs. There's a lot of emphasis on emotion and feeling more so than it normally is, because us fire signs, we're generally about action, making moves, making things happen. But there's something here about someone's feelings. Now, I'm going to just give you both the messages, since we're kind of severed with this reading. For a lot of you, this could be someone taking full control of their feelings and emotions, saying, you know what, I'm going to stay honed in, I'm locked in, I'm not going to let my emotions rule me. That's the positive that I'm picking up here. But in the other sense, when I get the King of Cups, if you don't have tensions with a water sign, when it's underneath this Five of Swords, that's a clear-cut energy of someone being disgruntled, angry, upset. So keep that in mind. You might be dealing with somebody that's a little disgruntled or not super stable in this time, especially with the explosive energy on the top. So, I mean, it could be one, it could be other, it could be both, depending, right? Like maybe you're the one that, like, emotionally you're good, you're locked in, but you could be dealing with a firecracker here, someone that's a little live wire. So we're going to keep moving forward. Again, we're not going to talk this to death. We're just going to keep moving. Let's see what that Eight of Wands has to say, because now we might be getting into the communication and the action. Okay, you can't control how others feel. For some of you, yeah, maybe there's someone or something that's ticked you off. Maybe there's something you're a little upset about. Really depends. So why is the Eight of Wands in the mix? Okay. I mean, I like it. We have the Fool card in the upright. Now we're getting more major arcana here, Aries energy. Let's make this happen. Now, I will say this for a lot of Leos in this time. This screams to me an unexpected talk or conversation when I see the Eight of Wands with the Fool card, because they're both action-oriented. They're coming in. They're both fire. So you might be having some surprising talks or unexpected talks in this time. But we could also be going with someone literally making moves and taking action. Okay, so yeah, we do have this little energy that's a little disgruntled. For a lot of you, I could pull a nice little nugget of wisdom. If there's something you're angry or upset about in this time, using that as fuel to move yourself forward is like highly beneficial for you. Okay, so whatever feelings you're feeling, like if you're feeling the rougher side of things, using that as fuel to move things forward in other directions is very positive. So let's talk about the Fool card. Again, this is Aries energy. And Aries is one of the initiators. It's your fellow fire sign. And it's about taking action and making moves, but it's also spontaneous. So you see what I've been saying with the fire and air here on the top. Now we have the double fire cutting through the center. So for a portion of you, whether this is a talk that's coming in that you don't see coming, or someone making moves, like it, both of them could be beneficial for you. But the one thing I will say, and again, it pains me as a fellow fire sign to say it, sometimes, like, yeah, we like to move things forward and we're cool with going with the flow and spontaneity, literally, but spirit might be telling you to try to cool things off a little bit, or don't be too spontaneous. Don't be too reactionary, if that makes sense. So we'll see how the Magician plays, because again, this is the energy that I feel is trying to like calm things down. I feel for a lot of you, this could be very positive. Okay, so expect various conversations or topics to pop up in this time that you weren't expecting. Okay, so let's go in on that Magician. We'll talk about him more when we do the recap. So why is the Magician here for the lovely Leos in their birthday season? I mean, if you're using fuel from other things that have upset you to move forward, that's looking good. That's really good. And there's a lot of determination here. So why is the Magician in the mix? Quick. Okay. I'm going to make my own luck type of energy. Okay. Whoever this is, I don't want to say it's like a hard-headed type of energy. It's extremely insistent. There's a sense of pride here I'm picking up on the back end, but not in the bad sense. When I see the Magician, it's very universal. And when I see the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, okay, well, I don't need handouts. I don't need the universe to set everything up for me. I can't sit and wait, so I'm going to make my own luck. Okay, like that's just how this is coming through, because in the upright, to me, this is the universe handing you something on a silver platter. In reverse, you have to work for it. All right, this is something you might have to work for and put a lot of effort into, and I don't see you really minding that type of energy. So that's like the big vibe I'm picking up here. Again, there's like a certain pride connected to this back end where it's like, okay, well, I don't need handouts. It's either that or I'm going to make my own luck. Okay, now, of course, being connected to the universe and being connected to the subtle energies is a beautiful thing. For a portion of you, there might be a manifestation you've been trying to bring in. It might be taking too long, and you're like, okay, time to pour some gasoline on this. So I don't, whether that's to move it forward or just say, let's try something different. Picking up a lot of intense energy here, Leo. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So, I mean, again, there's like really good energies. There's also ones that could be challenging. But before the shadow card, position number one, we have the Five of Swords with the King of Cups. The positive here, I do feel like this is someone getting their emotions under control, saying like, you know what, no, I'm not going to let my emotions rule me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like very controlled. But the other one, it could just represent someone that's a little disgruntled, angry, or mad, right? They're upset here in the front end. And we can't control how other people feel. But if you're the one that's upset by someone in this time, using that energy, using that fire to propel yourself forward and use it as motivation is looking really nice. Because in the center, we have the Eight of Wands with the Fool card in the upright. Let's go. Let's take some action. Let's move things along. So I like that I'm not seeing a stagnant energy here. For a lot of you, there is big action coming in. But aside from that, I feel for a lot of you, there could be a lot of unexpected talks, conversations, and surprising ones too. A lot of them could lean good, but again, we have this mixed bag type of energy showing up. So keep in mind, watch out for being too spontaneous in this time as well. Moving on to the back end, we have the Magician with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I will make my own luck. Again, it's a prideful type of energy, not necessarily a bad one, where it's like, okay, I'll work for mine, or I'll put the effort in for mine. I don't need handouts. I don't know why I keep saying that, because I don't think I've ever seen that in one of the general readings, but that's what's here. But again, if there's something you've been manifesting and it's taken too long, a lot of you might be saying like, all right, well, if the universe isn't going to serve it to me, I'm going to go get it. Like, it's very fired up. So please take a screenshot of that, Leo. Very intriguing reading this week. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. And yeah, let's shuffle it up here, my guides. Talk to me. What do we have in the shadows for the lovely Leos in their birthday season? Please and thank you. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be good too. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, what do we got here? What? Quick, very first shuffle, your shadow card pops out. We have the Four of Wands. So the 1111 card, I really love it whenever it shows up, because it's like we started the reading with a very spiritual card. One showed up within the middle of the reading itself, and now we're capping it off with the Four of Wands. Now, for a big portion of you, again, this fire energy is starting to show up, and I would say this is one of my more positive ones. For some of you, maybe you're dealing with situations in regards to living or housing or things like that. But if that's not the case, this is a very sturdy, stable, celebratory type of energy. So the fact that it's a shadow card could tell us that something is more stable than it seems, or the outcome might be more stable than it seems to you. But the big thing that I want to say, this is one of my cards of spirit trying to give us signs and synchronicities and omens. So with all the karmic energy we've been seeing for the past couple weeks, and now this within the shadows, keep your eyes open for the signs and guidance from spirit, because they could be trying to speak to you loud and clear. It's just, do you have the eyes to see it? And I do think a lot of you do, with the spiritual sensitivity I've been picking up. So Leo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.